Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good to see you, Ambassador. Thank you for your willingness to serve. Again, let me just quickly associate myself with a few comments and lines of questioning from other members on the committee. First, let me join with Senator Young in recommending that you play a forceful role at the DFC with respect to increasing their capability to be able to finance projects abroad. We have obviously targeted DFC's financing towards the developing world for a good reason, but China plays a different game. We carved out $1 billion through legislation written by myself and Senator Johnson about a year ago to allow for energy projects to be financed in non-developing countries. I think we're going to have to continue to expand the aperture when it comes to the type of countries and type of economies that DFC is able to do business in order to compete with China. Let me just associate myself with Senator Van Hollen's comments. You and I have talked ad nauseum about the need to dramatically increase our non-military toolkit, and now you'll be in a perfect position to advocate for those resources. My hope is that the administration, when it submits its budget, will make a substantial down payment on those smart power tools. Just no way to compete with China or prevent the next pandemic or fight climate change if you're still funding more employees at military grocery stores than diplomats representing America abroad. My lines of questioning are on the ability of USAID to be able to be nimble enough to meet the changing nature of very complex challenges. The first is on the topic of how we get our USAID team outside the wire. We have significantly downsized, as an example, we've significantly downsized our embassy in Baghdad. I think right now we have 4 USAID officers overseeing $1 billion of funding there. But it's not unfamiliar what's happening there all over the world. We're having a harder time getting our diplomats and our economic development officers outside of embassies. Second, we also have a lack of flexibility in the way that USAID can deploy funds. Congress tends to compartmentalize and earmark dollars so that when a challenge pops up, it's difficult for the USAID administrator to put the dollars into the place that really needs it. So I wondered if you talk for a second about the need to be able to move USAID personnel around to places that need to see American presidents, but also the need for Congress to work with you to try to give some more flexibility to the accounts that you're going to oversee.
Thank you, Senator. Both such important questions. So when it comes to the circumstance for USAID personnel and U.S. diplomatic personnel, as you know, it's very challenging with more conflicts happening than at any point since the end of the Cold War, with extremists, who do harbor, depending on, again, where we're talking about, can harbor ill intent toward U.S. personnel. We need to take security precautions and keep our personnel safe. At the same time, you will never meet people more eager to be out in the communities where the beneficiaries of U.S. programming are than USAID personnel. I mean, that is what drew these extraordinary men and women to this agency in the first place. Many of them are former Peace Corps volunteers or people who've taught English when they were, practically in high school, living in these communities. So I think I look forward to working with Secretary Blinken and our security professionals to being sure that we have the balance right there. And then when it comes to flexibility in deploying funds, I do think this relates to the conversation that we've been having about China. And actually the ranking member Risch and I spoke about this a little bit in his office yesterday. We want our assistance to be fit for purpose. We want our rules and regulations to be fit for purpose. We need to be accountable to the American people, given the generosity and the spirit behind the investments that are being made through USAID. I certainly, if confirmed, want to be responsive to the objectives that people have up here, and that's why you see a lot of those earmarks, is that people have strong commitments and want to see particular programming. And from what I can tell, that's the kind of programming that I would wish to see as well. But we really do need to make sure that we are able to move quickly. I know Administrator Green made some inroads on this issue, but I do think there's more to be done to make sure that we're able to be a 21st century agency meeting the challenges of the moment.
Agree. Circumstances change, and these days they change very quickly. And so I think there's probably a way for us to maintain accountability for funds, maintain programmatic earmarking, but perhaps allow for a little bit more flexibility with regard to country and geography. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.